Hello and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having a great day. I have to let you know this video took way longer than expected, so I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe, like, and share. But enough of me talking, let's get straight into the 50 tips and tricks. Tip number 1. When you spawn in as a covert ops, the magazine or chamber of your gun won't always be full. So in most cases, make sure to swap that mag out or fill it up. Every bullet counts, guys, and you really can't be lacking on this part. Tip number 2. When you spawn as a covert ops, if you spawn with a Mosin, the first two bullets in the chamber are LPS tier 4 ammo. So make sure you don't load your tier 3 ammo until you've used up the LPS. Number 3. Any item that can be opened can be shut again by holding down on the button that you used to open it. This can be particularly useful because I could open a safe, take the items out of the safe, and then shut the safe and camp it, tricking unsuspecting players into opening an empty safe, giving me plenty of time to kill them. Number 4. When you are a covert ops and kill a militant, all the militants in the area will be mad at you. Using a suppressor or knife does not change the radius of how far militants will be mad, but other militants from far away will not be mad at you, so this is useful now because as a covert ops you could kill a militant that is separated from others to get better gear.
What are you doing? He's done.
Tip number 5. Aiming for the legs on an enemy is a great way to bypass good armor, because most armor only covers the torso and lower torso, making the legs a weak spot. This strategy is best relied on when you are using a shotgun or when using bad ammo, but if you're using good ammo, I recommend you aim for the head. Also, make sure you practice in the range whenever you can. This helps out your accuracy a lot. Tip number 6. When shooting at an enemy's legs, if they have teammates, they will almost always go down. So if you can, aim for the head or face, because trying to go for a finish on the downed player could get you killed. Every second counts. Tip number 7. In most maps I've noticed that the first covert ops enter around 26 minutes left, giving you a solid 4 minutes without fear of imposters. I have also seen imposters enter any time under 26 minutes, so make sure you always watch your back after this time of the game. Tip number 8. When opening a lootable, you have about 1 second to move before it opens the menu, so take advantage of this by moving to cover or proning behind cover. Tip number 9. Try to avoid starting the match overweight. You can do this by bringing in only one gun and lighter armor. Tip number 10. Make sure to always bring food and water. You never know when it might be game changing. I like to bring the thermos, energy drink, and biscuit. I bring the energy drink because it can sometimes be clutch whenever you run out of stamina, and you can drink it really quick and then just keep on moving, you don't have to stop. Tip number 11. If you are going in overweight or with a bit of extra gear, it's wise to bring endurance and strength stems. Energy drinks are also super useful when heavy. Tip number 12. If you are overweight in the middle of a fight because your backpack is full of gear, drop the backpack to regain your movement speed. Just make sure you don't forget where you put your backpack at. I've had that happen to me a few times, and it is not fun. Because then you spend like 5-6 minutes literally looking for a backpack full of gear, and then you're out of time to get to exfil. It's not great, bro. It's not great. 13. In the context, make sure you are prioritizing Evita's missions. On the last mission for her, she will give you a 6-slot keyholder, which is insanely useful. As the default keyholder only gives you 3 slots, it's not very much, and this is a major upgrade. Tip 14. Once you reach level 10, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but you unlock Deke Vincent. This contact can make you an insane amount of money. You see, sometimes he sells items with a huge discount, so all you need to do is check the price to fill the items, then search the thing you want on the market. Compare prices, and if the item he is selling is cheaper, then purchase it, and sell it to the market for profit. Deke Vincent is also the best way to get grenades, because he almost always sells them with a discount. In that clip I just showed you a second ago, I only spent 9k for those 5 grenades, and on the player market it was 18k for 5 grenades, so I saved myself 9k. Tip 15. I'm sure you already know this one, but I'm just going to go over it for the newbies. Make sure you always use painkillers before a fight. Painkillers make it where if a bone breaks, for example your legs or arms, you have no side effects from the broken limbs. When your legs break, you can't sprint. You're stuck moving very slow. And when your arms are broken, you have a lot of aiming idle sway, which can make your accuracy terrible, so make sure you take those painkillers. 16. Any sounds you can hear, your enemies can hear. The sounds of healing, bushes, reloading, filling up your magazines, opening your backpack, drinking water, eating food. All those sounds that you hear, your enemies can hear. So take note of that whenever you complete any action. Tip 17. When looting a dead body, I recommend that you loot the body while crouched or prone, depending on where you are looting at. If you are looting in a building, I recommend you loot crouched, because your legs will sometimes collide with the walls and it will get you killed. Also, I don't recommend looting prone in open spaces, like a road or driveway, because you have no grass to cover you up, and if you get shot at, you would have to do a whole animation to get up. By this point, you would have already been dead. Tip 18. I know this is a simple one, but always be moving. So many times I've killed low-level players and it was because they were staying still. If you are healing, do it moving. If you're opening a door, do it moving. The only time you don't want to move around a lot is when you are aiming down sights and trying to shoot because there's too much aiming sway and it can mess up your accuracy. But in close quarters, you can aim down sight and shoot. It really doesn't matter. You're so close that you should be hitting your shots. Tip 19. Unless you have really good armor or an experienced player, I recommend you don't try to fight any of the bosses in the game. They have way too many guards and have the best accuracy. They can see you through walls and they don't even have to aim down sights to hit you. So I recommend if you're new to the game, just kind of stay away from them. Tip number 20. I recommend you always use a helmet with a face guard. All bullets will one-shot to the face, even the weakest bullets can one-tap you in the head. The only thing that won't one-shot you in the face are shotgun pellets, because each pellet does less damage than is required to one-tap in the head. So if you're using a shotgun, make sure you are up close and personal. And if you are on a budget, the F70 tactical helmet and DK6 face shield are the way to go. 21. When fighting an enemy team, make sure you are constantly checking your mags and making sure you have ammo in them. If you run out of ammo in your mags, find a safe spot and fill them up, because you can't win a fight with empty magazines. Tip 22. If you are fighting a player who's keeping their distance and throwing smoke grenades everywhere, they are most likely using a thermal imager. Your best look for survival against someone like this is to hide in a big building and wait for them to leave. People who use the thermal imager rarely enter buildings because they are pussies, and they are too scared to enter any closed area. The reason why I say big building is because sometimes they will get close to buildings and throw grenades through them. So if you're in a big building, you'd have plenty of room to dodge those grenades. 23. This is a really important tip. Stop trying to play like popular YouTubers that you watch. Play how it fits you best. Play in the way that you have the most fun. If you enjoy camping, camp. If you like fast-paced combat, go for it. But remember, at the end of the day, it's a video game and you're supposed to have fun. Tip 24. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and turn notifications on. I'm going to be making videos like this every week, so don't miss out. Tip 25. If you play on a lower end phone, you can go to the official Arena Breakout website and download a light version. The game performs so much better this way, I myself will be playing on light version until I can upgrade my fridge to a better phone. Tip 26. Grenades don't have a set number as a fuse. It's actually random between two sets of numbers. For example, when I pull the pin on a grenade, it can go off between 4 or 5 seconds. So never try to cook a grenade to perfection, or you might just blow yourself up. Tip 27. When you down a player, if he has teammates near him, you don't always want to go for the finish, because his teammates might kill you as you try to finish their friend. I have seen this happen so many times to my enemies, don't let it happen to you. Tip 28. When you are down, you're probably thinking that you're dead, but no. You can still be of use to your team. Keep giving callouts, revealing enemy locations, and let your teammates know what weapons the enemy has. If you can identify the weapons that the enemies are holding, make sure to let your teammates know, because enemies carrying weapons like snipers and shotguns can definitely change how you start an engagement. Tip number 29. If you're a solo player and run into a 4-man team, the best way to attack them is to pick off one at a time. So approach them from a good area that has cover and take one out. Then reposition to a different spot to make them lose track of you. If you have repositioned, try to watch them and wait for one of the remaining 3 players to make a mistake. That's when you strike. Repeat this process and with a little luck you should be able to team wipe 4-mans. Once you have team wiped them, you'll probably have a lot of loot too. 30. There's a small button right above your primary weapon slot. If you push it, it shows up the quick equipped menus. You can also do this for meds and armor as well. This will save you so much time. Tip number 31. There should be a button on the top left right above your inventory. Push it and you can quick organize your entire inventory. The only reason I want to include this tip is because the first month I played, I didn't even know it's here, and I spent hours manually organizing my stuff. It was a pain. Tip though, if your inventory is too stuffed, it actually can't organize your inventory. So just letting y'all know that. Tip 32. Make sure you make your own custom button layout. Don't follow any YouTube tutorial on which one's the best. Make one that fits you and your playstyle, and how many fingers you use. Tip 33. Loot on a map varies based on the gear value of all the players in the match. So if you and your team go into the match naked and the enemy players are also bringing in little gear, most likely those safes are going to have crap in them. But if everyone in the lobby is stacked, the chances of gold items spawning like golden lions, vases, and other expensive items are increased drastically. Personally, I don't like how this is the case, but it is what it is. Tip 34. Try playing the game with friends. The game is best played with others. It makes the experience so much better. If you don't have friends like me, use the quick join feature to find a team. The quick join feature is in the top right of the screen where you push play. You can also use the auto match feature so that whenever you go into a game, it can randomly pair you with teammates. Tip 35. Once you have enough money for good ammo, try to always use it when you are bringing in good gear. This will increase your chances of survival drastically because good ammo will kill even the best players in a few shots. I classify good ammo as tier 4 or above, so tier 4 ammo, tier 5, tier 6 ammo. Now you're most likely not going to use tier 6 ammo, but if you can afford tier 4 ammo for at least 1 or 2 magazines when you're going in, this will help you out so much. Tip 36. If you ever find yourself in gas and don't have a gas mask, take note. You can stay in here without much consequence as long as you don't have a level 2 lung damage. Once it reaches level 2 lung damage, it'll drain your chest HP to 1, and then that makes it super easy to die. So leave the gas immediately. Now, if you do have a gas mask, you can stay in the gas mask almost indefinitely as long as your gas mask has durability. There are two types of gas masks: full face gas mask and half face gas mask. Full face gas mask will obstruct some of your screen and oftentimes also offer flashbang protection. Half face gas mask doesn't cover up your screen at all and only offers gas protection. Now, when I'm saying flashbang protection, I mean they make it where you have the flashbang effect less amount of time. So you usually get the flashbang effect for around 7 to 8 seconds, and then if you have the gas masks that have strong flashbang protection, I'm noticing you only get it for about 6 seconds. 37. If you don't play on light version, then windows are super hard to see through. If your position is already revealed, then shooting them out might be a good choice, just so you can see the enemies hiding behind them. Tip 38. Make sure to prioritize getting larger storage containers. You can get storage containers from Avita. If you can't, here are some ways to make space. Some weapons have foldable stocks. Fold them. You can also take out the magazine and rear grip to make the gun take up half the space as it usually does. Tip 39. Metal helmets block your sound, and that's a very big downside. The only upside about them is that they have full head protection and T6 and T5 face shields, which are very useful compared to the weak T4, T4, and T5 ballistic glass face shields like the DK6 and DK5. 40. There are two types of body armor: light and full body armor. Full body armor covers most of your body, but is super slow. I'd say full body armor is only good in close quarters maps, while light body armor doesn't affect your speed much at all, making it much better for aggressive players and larger maps. Tip 41. This one is for the Timmies out there. If you are bad with grenades, don't use them. Give them to your teammates instead, because too many times I've gotten killed by my teammates throwing grenades way too close to me. If you want to get better with grenades, practice with them in the firing range. Tip 42. It's sometimes best to run with your knife out. Although it might be risky, it can get you out of tough situations because you move so much quicker when you're running with your knife. Just make sure to switch to your weapon before you even get close to the enemy so you're all ready to shoot them. Tip 43. The best way to deal with campers inside buildings is to find multiple entrances inside that building and have yourself enter through one of those alternate entrances. But there's also another way if they're watching all the entrances. You can throw gas grenades in the entrances and exits, forcing them to go near the middle of the building. This should make it much easier to enter through one of those entrances because they can't be camping there because of the gas. And if they are camping there, you'll know because you'll hear them coughing. Tip number 44. Make sure you always have an organized rig. Make sure magazines are where they need to be, meds, painkillers, grenades, and other healing items. You want to make sure your rig is always organized, not so much as your backpack. Your backpack can be a little bit messy, but your rig always needs to be organized so you can switch to those things you need in the middle of a fight as quickly as possible. 45. As you just saw, you can shoot through doors with almost every gun. From my testing, every gun can shoot through a door with any ammo type except shotgun shells. Shotguns I don't think can shoot through doors, but if they can, tell me in the comments below. Tip 46. All explosive grenades can do damage through walls, depending on their explosion radius. Is it situational? Yes. Is it a tip? Also yes. Tip 47. Despite this game being marketed as a realistic game, shotguns have very limited range. Shotguns with buckshot can only shoot around 10 meters, and after that the bullets just fall to the ground. So, if you're going to use slow grinds, you can sometimes extend that to around 12 to 13 meters, but that's really about it. So if you're using a shotgun, make sure you're up close and personal, don't even attempt to use it at range. Tip 48. Make sure you're always watching the match timer. Too many times I have gone missing in action because I just wasn't paying attention to the time, or I thought, hey, I got 2 minutes left, I can loot a few more things before I go to exfil, and then I died. So make sure you're always watching that timer, okay? Tip 49. If you run out of stamina and you gotta keep on walking but don't want someone to one-tap you in the head, you can crouch up and down while continue walking, or you can do what Tarkov players like to call the wiggle. If you do this wiggle, it makes it much harder for people to snipe your head whenever you're just walking and not running. Last but not least, tip 50. If you're ever playing on one of their bigger maps like Northridge or Val, and you're getting sniped at and you don't know where the sniper is, your best bet is to just find a house that you can get in for cover. Finding rocks and trees really aren't going to work for you because they're most likely going to still be able to see you from whatever angle of that they're at. So if you can find a house, get to that as quickly as possible and either try to wait the sniper out or wait for him to push you. I hope everyone enjoyed that video, guys, and if you did, if you're going to make this small-time creator like me a big-time creator, make sure to like, subscribe, and maybe even share. But that's it here. Have a good day.